Time and again, there are what we might call in our own understanding, disabled people who have proven to us that the only limitations we have are the ones we set for ourselves. I'm forever grateful to the filmmakers who have taken some of these inspiring stories and made them into amazing movies. I'm even more grateful for the talents who have brought these roles to life. I'm Danny, and in this video I will be recommending 3 amazing movies where the actor won an Oscar for playing a disabled person. The first movie I'll be recommending under this category is Miracle Worker, the story of Helen Keller, directed by Arthur Penn, starring Patty Duke and Anne Bancroft, who both won Academy Awards for Best Actress in the Leading Role and Best Actress in the Supporting Role respectively in 1963. As an infant, Helen Keller was struck with a severe case of scarlet fever, which left her blind and deaf. Frustrated and unable to interact properly with the outside world, Helen often became violent and difficult to interact with. As a last resort, her parents contacted the Perkins School for the Blind for assistance, and they sent Anne Sullivan, a half-blind former student of theirs. Anne was determined to teach Helen how to communicate by spelling words in her palm, but Helen was not responding positively. Her parents had little faith in Anne and thought that her techniques were harsh and would not yield any positive results. Anne resorted to isolating herself and Helen for a period of time, and just when her parents were about to give up, a breakthrough occurred, and Helen finally began to show signs of understanding. God bless the makers of this film. I don't even know what to say. This movie was really intense. I've known about Helen Keller for the longest time, and as you can imagine, it is difficult to fathom how someone who was deaf and blind from infancy went on to become a lecturer, an author, and an activist. Now, take a moment to think about it. Exactly. But this movie helped me get a grasp of it. It was an incredible movie. And her teacher, Anne is truly the definition of not all superheroes wear capes. The second movie I'll be recommending under this category is The Theory of Everything, the story of Stephen Hawking. Directed by James Marsh, starring Felicity Jones and Eddie Redmayne, who won the Academy Award for Best Actor in a Leading Role in 2015. Stephen is a student at the University of Cambridge. He meets and falls in love with a literature student, Jane Wilde. While he is writing his thesis, he begins to fall ill, and after tests are run, he is told that he has a motor neuron disease, a disease that will eventually leave him paralyzed, and that he has only 2 years to live. Regardless of this, Jane is convinced that she is in love with him and agrees to marry him. They have their children, and Stephen completes his studies. He later develops pneumonia and undergoes a tracheotomy, leaving him unable to speak. He eventually gets a computer with a built-in voice synthesizer and uses it to write a book, A Brief History of Time, which becomes an international bestseller. When I watched this movie, I was like, how? A man like this actually existed. And he lived for decades. Contrary to what his doctors told him. He died only in 2018. You watch a movie like this and you ask yourself, what is my excuse again? The Theory of Everything was actually an amazing movie, and don't even get me started on how brilliant Eddie is as an actor. I cannot imagine what it took for him to play that role. The Theory of Everything comes highly recommended by me, for emphasis. The third and final movie I'll be recommending under this category is Scent of a Woman, directed by Martin Brest, starring Al Pacino and Chris O'Donnell. Although this is not a biopic like the others, Al Pacino won the Academy Award for Best Actor in a Leading Role in 1993. Charlie Sims attends the Baird School, an exclusive preparatory school. But unlike most of his peers, Charlie was not born into a wealthy family and attends the school on a scholarship. He accepts a temporary job over Thanksgiving weekend, hoping to make enough money to fly home to see his family for Christmas. The woman who hired Charlie asks him to watch over her blind alcoholic uncle, retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Frank Slade. Unknown to Charlie, Frank has plans of his own, and Charlie is persuaded into an immediate trip to New York City. Frank's plan is to have a wonderful time in New York and then commit suicide. Frank makes an unexpected appearance at his brother's house on Thanksgiving Day. He is not well received, and it is revealed to Charlie at the dining table how Frank became blind. While drunk, he was juggling 3 grenades to impress a group of second lieutenants, and one of them went off. The night ends in a fight, and Frank and Charlie leave. After having quite the time in New York, Frank sends Charlie on a series of unexpected errands. Charlie leaves at first, but becomes suspicious and heads back only to meet Frank in his uniform and preparing to commit suicide with his service pistol. They enter into an intense fight, and Charlie tries to convince Frank that he has more to live for. I just want to let you know that this is the best Al Pacino movie ever. Period. See, I'm sure even Al Pacino thinks so. I'm very, very sure he watches this movie like every December. This movie was nothing short of incredible. His performance, my goodness. And I know I'm not the only one who thinks so, because I mean, he did win the Academy Award that year for Best Actor in a Leading Role. So there you have it. This movie comes highly recommended by me. Unfortunately, that's all I have for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please, if you've watched any of these movies, put your thoughts down in the comment section below and let's chat. Don't forget to follow me on all my social media platforms and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Feel free to share this video with your friends. Till next time, thank you for watching.